Hey everybody, good late afternoon. We're having a little bit of fun today. You guys know that I am not the world's biggest fan of the Pro Bowl. Maybe the game itself is fine, or at least it is what it is, but I'm not a big fan of putting a lot of credence into who gets to the Pro Bowl because the criteria for selecting players is not all that well tethered to who the best players actually are. But that doesn't mean the idea of the Pro Bowl is bad. So I do think it's a cool idea to try to gather up the best players in football from year to year on a list and understand for historical purposes who were the best players. And if the Pro Bowl was able to kind of consistently get it right, I would value it. And also, let's be real here. The Seahawks are a great team this year. They're going to have a presence. So let's take a look at this. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, so Pelissaro posted this yesterday. It's the top 10 at each position in terms of Pro Bowl votes gotten so far. I think this was as of yesterday morning. So it's probably changed a little bit, but not radically so. They've had a couple of weeks, or actually, I think a little bit longer than that, to collect votes. So let's just go through it and see how the Seahawks are doing. There has been some changes, including one really, really important one from last week as it regards Seahawks players. So let's go through this and see what we are looking at. So they list the positions alphabetically. I know this is not the greatest picture in the world in terms of quality, but you can still see what you need to see. So right off the bat, we're looking at center, and immediately we're confused, and this doesn't happen too often. We're confused because a Seahawk is actually present. So that's weird. Yeah, Oluwatimi is in 10th place for centers in terms of votes gotten for the Pro Bowl, even though he's only played about half the season, and his play has been, I would say, barely starter caliber. Yeah, I don't know if this is an indictment of how bad center play in the NFL is right now, but very odd. I think that what is going on here is that fans are looking at Seattle's offensive line, which is playing better than it has in the last, compared to the last several years. And they say, well, clearly they must have a bunch of Pro Bowlers on the offensive line because look at how much better the offensive line is. And they just kind of see, oh, there's Oluwatimi. He's starting right now. Let's just vote for him. It's yeah, he's got no business in the Pro Bowl, but you look at it like you've got Dahlman, you've got Sean Ryan, you've got Cam Jurgens, you've got Graham Glasgow, Cooper Bebe. So there are 5 NFC centers in front of Oluwatimi, so he's not going to make it. So it doesn't matter that much, but it's still a very odd thing, especially because you go to cornerback next, and there are no Seahawks here. Like, you literally have a center in the top 10, you don't have a corner. Now, in this case, it makes sense. It sucks. I hate it. But the corner that you have that would be a logical selection for the Pro Bowl is Devin Witherspoon, and he missed, like, what was it, 4 or 5 games. So when you combine that with the fact that he doesn't have great ball production, people don't notice him that much, even though he might be the best corner in football. So I get it. I think that it's understandable to leave him off because he didn't play in a lot of games. and he also doesn't have tremendous ball production. But I hope people understand how good he is regardless. Just because he got hurt and missed some time doesn't change that. And let me also express my tremendous annoyance with the fact that the Rams have two players in the top 10, including Emmanuel Forbes, who is one of the bigger busts in recent memory. Him remembering how to play football when he got to LA is one of the most annoying things that has happened this season, and there have been a few annoying things. Okay, so now we have defensive end, and this is one thing that the Pro Bowl does that is annoying to me. I'm just going to go ahead and get in front of this right now. I think I talked about this last week. They separate players in ways that I think are not accurate to trying to capture what you're trying to capture. And here's what I mean by this. So, defensive end, first of all, there is one Seahawk here. It's DeMarcus Lawrence, well-deserved, playing great football. He may not make the Pro Bowl, but he deserves to be in the top 10 for sure. But then they also have another category called outside linebacker. And look at the players listed here. You got Micah Parsons, you got Myles Garrett, you got Aiden Hutchinson, Will Anderson, Daniel Hunter, Max Crosby. You've got a mix of edge rushers that tend to play with their hand in the dirt, and then you've got other edge rushers that play standing up. But they're all edge rushers is the point. An outside linebacker, by and large, is the same thing. Like, we'll get to this in a second, but the leading vote getter for outside linebacker right now is Brian Burns. And Uchenna Nwosu, Nwosu is in the top 10 on the outside linebacker list. See, to me, D-Law and Nwosu should be in the same category. They don't do things exactly the same, I understand that, but they are way more similar than they are different. And I think it just kind of messes everything up. Like, Brian Burns is an edge rusher. He should be in the same category as Parsons and Garrett and Hutchinson. So, to me, outside linebacker in the context of Pro Bowl voting should be guys like Drake Thomas, off-ball linebackers that play the Will or the Sam. So, I don't know. It just strikes me as, it feels a little off. Like D-Law and Nwosu being in different categories, that doesn't pass the smell test to me. All right, great news here, though. Defensive tackle, not only is Byron Murphy number 1 here, so he's going to make it almost certainly, well-deserved. Leonard Williams is now getting listed here instead of on the defensive ends. He is currently 5th, by the way. So all of the defensive tackles between 2 and 4 are in the AFC. So as of right now, the Seahawks have the top 2 vote getters at defensive tackle in the NFC, Murphy and Williams. So, I mean, that highlights how dominant this team is. And by the way, real quick here, just to kind of put a bow on the DeMarcus Lawrence thing, because I forgot, you got Micah Parsons, you got Aiden Hutchinson, and you've got Rashawn Gary, and you've got Montez Sweat. Those are all NFC guys. So D-Law making it, he might make like as a third string guy if he keeps this up. It looks like he has a chance at maybe being the third string end, but it's going to be tight. But yeah, it looks like Murphy and Williams may literally be your starters on the NFC side of the Pro Bowl. And then fullback, Robbie Oots actually is here at 9. I don't think that he should be a Pro Bowler, but other than Juszczyk, and honestly not even Juszczyk, I don't know if any of these guys should be here. I don't really know what the good fullbacks are right now. Like, for a long time, Juszczyk was the best fullback in football, but I don't know if he still is. He's very old now, very brittle. So who knows here? But congratulations to Robbie Oots. All right. Moving on here, free safety. We've got one. We've got Kobe Bryant, currently 4th in the league for free safeties. He is behind Kevin Byrd and Kirby Joseph in the NFC. So he's currently the 3rd leading vote getter for free safeties in the NFC. So that means he probably makes it. And remember, Kirby Joseph is hurt now. So he's probably going to jump Kirby and get up to number 2 in the NFC. Now, him making the Pro Bowl might not be the best thing for us trying to keep his price down when we re-sign him, but I mean, you deserve what you deserve. If he deserves it, he deserves it, and I am getting the sense that he probably deserves it. Okay, guard, and this one continues to surprise me because I feel like rookie offensive linemen never get love. Gray Zabel is currently 4th in the NFL, and he is 3rd in the NFC in votes. The top 2 vote getters in the NFC, by the way, are both Bears. So that means Zabel, as of right now, he's almost certainly going to make the Pro Bowl roster, unless the non-fan voting part of the Pro Bowl selection is radically different than the voting, which it could be. But this indicates very strongly that Zabel is well-respected and well-known. And you can see that most of the other top guards are playing over in the AFC right now. So, I mean, maybe it's just kind of a weak time to be a guard. I don't know if Zabel's play warrants being a Pro Bowler. But, I mean, he's certainly been a nice revelation over there. And if they want to honor him like that, I'm not going to argue it. And again, like, who are the great NFC guards right now? There isn't a lot. Like, Aaron Banks is on this list, and I think Aaron Banks has been a huge flop in Green Bay. And he's here mostly on name recognition and because Green Bay is a good team. Inside linebacker, definitely a heartbreaker here. Ernest Jones probably should be at the top of the list. He is probably the best inside linebacker in football. Like, I'm not even just saying that to say it. Like, genuinely, I don't think there's another inside linebacker in the sport I would rather have than Ernest Jones. I know he missed 2 games, but I don't think 2 games should really matter that much. The fact that he's not even in the top 10 is insulting. He might lead the league in interceptions as an inside linebacker. Like, think about that for a second. What are we doing here? So, hopefully that gets rectified, but he's not even in the top 10 right now. Kicker, we do have Jason Myers here. The only NFC kicker ahead of him is Brandon Aubrey. And, I mean, Aubrey with the cannon leg, it makes sense that he would be ahead. And then you've got Eddie Pinheiro as the 3rd place NFC kicker. So it looks like Myers makes it. And he certainly should. I mean, he leads the league in scoring by a wide margin. He leads the league in field goals made by a wide margin. He hasn't been the most accurate kicker, but that's mostly because he kicks a lot. And some of the kicks we've had him try to kick are kind of unreasonable. So, yeah, looks like a Pro Bowl for Myers here. Long snapper, Chris Stoll did actually make it here. He is actually 4th in the NFC because I don't know what to read into this, but every long snapper in the top 5 for Pro Bowl vote getters is an NFC one. You've got Vikings, Packers, Bears, Seahawks, Cowboys. So actually, Stoll is currently not on track to make it, but I don't know who the best long snappers in the league are anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. So good for Chris Stoll, I guess. He's in the top 4. All right, outside linebacker, this is what I'm talking about here. Like, you got Brian Burns, Nick Bonito, Josh Sweat, Byron Young, TJ Watt. These are not off-ball outside linebackers. These are edge rushers that maybe they're doing things just ever so slightly differently than the guys they had listed for defensive end, but I don't think it's a meaningful difference. It's like a distinction without a difference. I don't get it. But important thing is Nwosu is currently in the top 10 at 10th for outside linebackers. Now, you've got Brian Burns, you've got Josh Sweat, you've got Byron Young, and you've got Jared Verse. So that's 4 guys in the NFC ahead of Nwosu. So, maybe he makes it on the very back end, but it's going to be tight. And Nwosu hasn't been the most impactful player in some of these games, so people are going to forget about him really quickly if he doesn't start racking up sacks. That's just how this works. Punter. Dixon does make the list. Not super high, though. And in the NFC, you've got Jack Fox, you've got Bradley Pinion, you've got Daniel Whalen, and you've got, that's it, ahead of him. So I think, 2 punters make the Pro Bowl? So if that holds, then he's not making the Pro Bowl. And look, I understand that Pinion has that ridiculously high inside the 20 rate of his punts, like punts being down inside the 20. And I know Jack Fox is good as well. I don't know if they're better or worse than Michael Dixon, but feels like we're letting Dixon down a little bit now with the vote. I'll be honest. Like, we need to be pumping this a little bit more during the fan voting, because I'm not saying he is better than those guys, but when it comes to the best punters in the league, everything kind of runs close. So let's put in some work here on the Michael Dixon thing. Okay, so quarterback. So this is a pretty big position. Let's dig into this a little bit. I know this video is going to be long, by the way, guys, but I mean, it's a lot to talk about. So we got Sam Darnold at number 9. And in the NFC, he's behind Matt Stafford. Makes sense. Dak Prescott. I agree with that. Jordan Love. I'm not really a Jordan Love guy. I know his numbers are good. I know that there's some stuff that is in favor of him, but I'm not a big Jordan Love guy. I think Caleb Williams, somebody's going to have to make that one make sense to me. I like Caleb. I think he's better than a lot of people give him credit for, but he is remarkably inaccurate, and the offense that he leads is nowhere near as good as the offense that Sam Darnold, who is one spot behind Caleb Williams, runs. And those are and those things should weigh heavy when you're making a determination like this. I mean, honestly, Jared Goff, as much as I'm not a huge Jared Goff fan, Jared Goff should be ahead of Caleb. No disrespect to Caleb. I like that dude. I think he's going to be great in this league, but Sam Darnold has been better. And I know the turnovers are high, but there's plenty of other stuff out there that tells you that Sam Darnold is one of the best. I don't know if at this point, I don't know if Darnold should make the Pro Bowl, but he should at least be top 4. He should be up there with Love, Dak, and Stafford. And honestly, Goff should be ahead of Caleb as well. Okay, running back, no Seahawks here, which makes sense. We have a pretty even split in our backfield in terms of usage with K9 and Charbonnet. And I mean, you look at the guys in the NFC getting votes: McCaffrey, Gibbs, Bijan. It's pretty darn stacked in the NFC. So couldn't crack it, and it's not surprising. Return specialist, we do have a Seahawk here with Shaheed. Now, Shaheed spent more time on the Saints this year than he has on the Seahawks, so he's mostly getting love for that when you think about it. But even if you ignore that, you've got Kevontae Turpin, Devin Duvernay, Miles Price, Greg Dortch, Sky Moore, Savion Williams, all those guys ahead of Shaheed right now, so he's not going to make it. The NFC's pretty heavy with these return specialists, I guess. Moving on to strong safety, though. Not really going to be anything here because Love got hurt. If Love had played the whole season and played at a respectable level, he'd probably be here. But as you can see, there's not a lot of room for a Ty Okada. Like, Ty Okada is not a Pro Bowl strong safety. He played admirably well, credit where credit is due, but he is not somebody that should be making an appearance here. Special teams player, again, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know who the best special teamers are, but we do have a Seahawk here in Brady Russell. Brady Russell. So, interesting. Kind of the modern day Nick Bellore, I guess you could kind of say. And if you look at it as NFC only, you've got Evan Williams in Green Bay and Josh Blackwell in Chicago, and then Brady Russell. So, third place. I think you have to finish first because there's only one special team player per team, but he's right up there, so we'll see. Maybe Brady Russell will score a special teams touchdown this week and he'll get a lot of national attention and maybe he'll get the votes. All right, tackle. No Seahawks here, which, I mean, we got 2 tackles that I think are good. I don't get the sense that either guy is like elite. I don't know if either guy is even really great, Cross and Lucas. So, more or less makes sense. I mean, I look at some of the guys here, and I honestly don't know if you should, if these guys are that much better than what we have, but they could be. Like Rasheed Walker, I don't know how good Rasheed Walker really is. I would definitely rather have Cross than Rasheed Walker. And also, by the way, this list is mixing left tackles with right tackles, which I hate. Left tackle and right tackle should be kind of like, it should be understood that there's a distinction there. All right, tight end, no Seahawks, which, again, very much expected. If you take a look at, I love A.J. Barner. He's playing great, but the volume stats are just not going to be there for him, and they never will be because that's what happens when you don't throw the ball very much. So the volume stats are going to win out here. You've got Trey McBride. You've got, just in the conference, right? Trey McBride, Jake Ferguson, George Kittle, who missed a bunch of time this year and still has big numbers. Juwan Johnson, Colston Loveland, Sam Laporta. It's just a tough group to crack when you barely get thrown the ball. And we're going to wrap it up with wide receiver, where you better believe there's a Seahawk, and it is JSN, number one of the top vote getters in the entire league at wide receiver. Pretty awesome stuff. I can't imagine that anything other than him getting the top wide receiver spot happens. You might see, I guess theoretically you could maybe see somebody like Pickens make a huge run at things, but after that game he played against Detroit, I feel like that ship has sailed. And I think there's an understanding that Puka is benefiting from his circumstances a lot. And JSN, you can't really say that about him because we don't throw the ball hardly at all. And I think people have kind of caught on to that. So there's your Pro Bowl ballot. A lot of Seahawks, guys. A lot of Seahawks. More than you would typically see, even when we have good years. So sorry for the long video, but I wanted to spend some time on this. We'll talk more about this as the year goes on. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Go Hawks. See you guys later. Probably going to stream on Twitch. And go Hawks.